By the year 100 BC, under the supervision of the consul and general Gaius Marius, the Roman legion looked as follows. The basic building block was the 8-man contubernium. 10 contubernia would equal a century of 80 men. 6 centuries would make a cohort, which was basically 480 men. This was the basic building block of the legion. There were 10 cohorts in a legion, the first cohort having an additional 200 men to add extra strength. It was considered the elite cohort, making the rounded strength of a Roman legion about 5,000 men. Now, the deployment of the legion was very interesting. Here we see some footage from the movie Spartacus. Spartacus' slave rebellion occurring in 71 BC. At this time, the Marian reforms have had time to work their way throughout the legion. And we see here on a vast scale the deployment of a cohort legion in a quincunx or 5-sided die formation. To us, it would look like a checkerboard. And to an opponent facing such a juggernaut, it must have been utterly terrifying to watch the precision and discipline and organization of the Roman legion on display. So each one of those boxes that you see is a cohort of 480 men. There are 10 of them, if you care to pause and count. Stanley Kubrick, the director of this movie, did a wonderful job in recreating the deployment of a post-Marian Roman legion. So you see one legion in the forefront and a second legion approaching from behind it. And the thing about the gaps in the lines are somewhat controversial amongst historians as to how this would actually work. We have the sources of Polybius and Livy explaining various theories as to how the gaps would be closed. I think Kubrick has done a pretty good job here illustrating that at a given signal, just prior to confronting an opponent, the various lines or maniples of a legion would close ranks, presenting a solid front to the enemy. And the advance would continue. Here we see the front rank continuing its advance, while those back cohorts close ranks. And again, all this in the face of the enemy gives you some idea of how impressive the Romans were in their ability to carry out tactical maneuvers with a great deal of precision and organization. And if you're the enemy watching this, you know that you are dealing with an army of trained professionals. So let's take a look at how the average legionary would fight. And the primary weapon system was the Gladius, a 24-inch short sword that the Romans practiced quick stabbing motions, as is illustrated here. The Romans would often use stabbing posts and repeat over and over and over again in countless training exercises using heavy wooden sticks, heavier than the actual sword itself, to prepare their soldiers for close quarter combat. Giving the Roman legion an added advantage was on the small unit scale. The Romans were able to implement a type of line relief system, here illustrated as a Roman legion prepares to defend itself against a charge of Gauls. Notice the precision stabbing motions carried out. There is an economy of force here, and you have to remember ancient warfare was physically very demanding. And the Romans were able to kind of harness and economize their energy. The centurion blows a whistle, and the front rank, once it looks a little fatigued, gets some relief by moving to the back, and its place is taken by the rank behind. Again, the centurion blows the whistle, and you see this relief take place. Now, during the course of any battle, this could take place over and over and over again, allowing the Romans to present a fresh face to an increasingly exhausted enemy.